Today's gonna be good because I have water. Our septic system broke, and I was faced with a choice. The choice I had to make was to call someone else, an expert, and have them come fix the problem, or to do it myself. All right, so this is my handiwork. This is gonna be way better. It's gonna prevent corrosion, and I'm pretty excited about it. All the wiring for the entire system in this tank is done in this top box here. Since starting this adventure, I have faced that choice many times. Sometimes I choose to rely on someone else, and it may cost a bit more, but they're able to get it done quickly and usually do it correctly. But what I oftentimes find is when I let other people do it, it's not done A, the way I'd want, or B, to my own high personal standards. And so for yesterday, I decided I'm gonna do it myself. My pump died. The reason why it died is because the float stopped working, and at least, well, I was alerted because my safety alarm went off, and this tank, which we'll look inside in a second, was pretty much plumb full of gray water. And it was quite nasty. Luckily, overnight, somehow, that's my old pump sitting actually right there. Somehow overnight the pump kicked on and drained all the water out, thank goodness. But unfortunately, when I looked at it the next day, then it was dead and it was not coming back on. It just emits a low hum when you plug it in, so it died. I educated myself by watching some YouTube videos, talking to a couple of people who do work in the field and sell the various parts and components, and then also just looking at what was there and figuring it out. 3 components. You have an alarm system, which basically consists of a float that raises up. You know, if your system stops working, the water level will rise, and it will raise up that last float, triggering the alarm that makes this blaring sound in your house or wherever you have it. Some alarms are light-based that, you know, you could put on top of this post, for example. I personally have the one that is in the house and just sounds kind of like a smoke alarm, actually. It's and that's basically this tie over here. There's 2 plugs here. There's your the first plug here, this part that's got a different texture. That plug is the float that controls the on and off for your pump motor, and then the second plug is your pump. So what happens is when the float for the pump motor raises, which is way lower down in there than your safety alarm float, it raises up, it lets the electricity flow to your pump, and then your pump kicks on, drains all the water out. The float for the your pump motor float then sinks back down, which then cuts the electricity off to your pump, which then stops the pump. Let's get this out of the way, make sure it doesn't fall in here. We'll open this up and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Actually, you know what? Now is when I need that screw holder. Of course, I don't have it. I better go get it. Otherwise, I'm going to kick these again. I'm already short one. Come on. There, you can do it. Here. There we go. Wait, so here we go. All right. Oh, yeah. Oh, I hope that doesn't run down to where I'm going to be sitting in it. It's very stinky. That yellow float right there that I have illuminated, that is the safety alarm. The new float that I installed is down there. That float is the float that controls the pump, which the pump then is right there. We're going to unplug the pump, and on the other side of the float, what we're gonna do is we're gonna stick in our electrical tester, which is kind of a hard push. There we go. Okay, so now down here, you might not be able to see what I'm doing, but I'll try to describe it. What I'm doing is I'm raising up this yellow alarm, and I have the door to my house open, so I should be able to hear the alarm if it goes off. Do you hear that? There we go. So that one's working. Very good. Next, what you do is you go all the way down into here, and I'm going to raise up this float, which is the float for the pump motor, and we'll see when it actuates. I'm going to block out the sun here. So it's on now. And off. All right, so I'm switching gloves here because things are about ready to get pretty grody. Because I did run this last night and it just shot water everywhere. This seal here, I'm gonna try to tighten it before I pull it up, just because it's not quite tight yet and it's leaking up at the top here. You can actually see where I rubbed it clean. Oh, sorry guys. All right, that's not gonna work. Oh God, I'm banging you guys into this side of the poo-poo water. Yep, I'm gonna have to take you guys off, sorry. All right, so what we're gonna do now is, I don't quite like the position of this float. I think it will work, but what I wanna do is I kind of wanna shorten it up a little bit and lower it down. So what I'm doing is just loosening this ring right here for two reasons. One, I'm going to actually put it down the pipe a bunch because it can be lower. I'd like to have the water level be lower. So we're gonna keep loosening this. All right, and down we go. Okay. The next thing is I'm not really super excited about how this float is raising, and I'm worried I gave it too much action, because when the float kicks on, it's all the way, I'm watching the light over there, which I can't see very well. Gosh, I missed it. Okay, so the float will be here before it kicks on, which actually is much better now that I lowered that. And then it'll go and it'll turn off right there. Actually, you know, I kind of like that, guys. I think I do kind of like that quite a bit. I'm only gonna pull this up just a hair to make sure I'm not anywhere near the intake valve, which is down there. All right, I got the pump back into the septic tank, and I also attached our PVC to that the output valve right there. So the last thing that we're gonna do is we're actually gonna run the pump. I think this is gonna work out. Did it cost me a lot of money? Yes, it turns out that septic components are not cheap, but guess what, guys? It would have cost me even more if I had someone else fix it for me. Whereas now, I fixed it, it's now done the way I want it to do, and it should last for the next, hopefully 10 plus years. Way longer than it would have lasted if someone else fixed it and the system was still the same way that it was originally. Plugging in the pump now. There you go. See the pump working. There you go. It's doing its thing. That little valve right there is to let you know that it's actually working. The pump's putting out the water. It's kind of like a notification. I am leaking just a little bit from our clamp there, but you know what? I'm okay with that because it was leaking way worse last night and I really worked hard to get that tightened up. I may give it one last twist when I'm done showing y'all here. Pump's working really well. I'm liking how it's going. All right, we're there at the safety level on it, so I'm gonna shut it off. I kind of like what I see there. We're gonna call it a successful test. Hooray! So now what you're seeing is all the water is kind of sinking back down in there. That gas was the line from the lagoon, which is all the way over there. You see those trees? That's where this little 1/2 horsepower pump is pumping this water to, if you can believe it. Pretty crazy, huh? And this PVC line right there that you see running out in that direction, that's actually where it goes to, is all the way out and into those trees. All right, very good. So I'm just kind of looking down there to see how well we did. Cleared that out, very good. All right. I think we're gonna wrap things up here and go get some duct seal and say it was a good project. Still smell like poop though.